I'm Dr. Kim Sanders. I am the veterinarian and interim director at Anderson County PAWS.
And how did you get interested in becoming a veterinarian? I mean, that's something.
That was a childhood dream. There's always been a strong passion for animals in my family, and that's the only thing I've ever wanted to do.
Now, who was your favorite pet growing up?
I had a Dalmatian as a child named Penelope. That was very close to me, and I also grew up showing horses. And that was my second passion.
Now, how long did you have your Dalmatian Penelope?
I had her 12 years. So, and then I have a chocolate lab that's 15 now that goes everywhere with me.
So you loved animals, so you made that transition from high school. When you started college, you knew you wanted to be a veterinarian?
Absolutely.
So you've known since you were a kid almost?
I have.
And where did you go to veterinarian school?
I did my undergraduate at Clemson, and then I went to St. George's Veterinary School in Grenada. So I was in the Caribbean for 3 years.
Well, that doesn't sound too difficult.
It was wonderful.
And how long have you been involved with the Anderson County Animal Shelter?
I have been in Anderson County for almost 4 years. I worked for the Anderson County Humane Society as well during that period of time. So I've only been involved with PAWS for the last 5 months or so, and I've only been here full time for 3 months now.
What was your impression? You were the Humane Society and you came over here. What did you think of PAWS?
The facility was fantastic. I think there were a lot of things that needed to be changed, and we've made a lot of progress over the last few months to implement some life-saving changes to get the animals to where they need to be as well, so that we can save lives here.
Well, there are a lot of people who will be watching this that remember the old animal shelter. May not even been out to this one yet. Y'all do have, if somebody wants to come see what you've got going on, people are invited to come during office hours and stuff.
Absolutely.
And tell them what kind of things go on here on an average day.
On an average day, we have between 250 and 300 animals in our care. So we do get a lot of complaints that we don't open until noon. You know, the staff is here, but we have to come in and clean in the mornings to get the facility ready, get the animals fed, to get the cages prepared and cleaned. So we do that, and then the public is welcome from noon until 6 p.m. Most weekdays, and then Saturday from noon until 4 p.m. We have tons of animals here, in needs of homes. We have cats, kittens, puppies, lots of large breed dogs as well. We're certainly looking for volunteers now to help so that we can get the dogs outside more often and certainly get the community involved in taking care of these animals and giving them some enrichment as well as just taking care of their basic needs.
Well, let's talk about that. What kind of things can people volunteer to do out here?
One of the most important things that we could use is just someone to come and walk the dogs. They don't get much time outside at this point, and that's a huge benefit for these dogs. It gets their energy out and calms them down. It teaches them leash manners, makes them much more adoptable that way. If you prefer cats, then you can certainly come and socialize the cats as well. They have a need for love and enrichment as well. You can share toys with them. You can take them to a separate room to sit and play with them, and certainly love on them as well.
And you have a nice dog yard out here where people can get out. If they haven't been out here to see the facility, they can get out in fenced-in area where
there is a small
fenced-in
gets away
from you.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. That is one of the things that we're certainly looking to expand upon. There's a lot of land out here, and we'd really like to have a nice large dog park where people could come and have it a little bit separated from the general population so that they can get them out and exercise them.
Well, if somebody couldn't volunteer, what can they donate to the shelter that would be helpful for you folks?
Our biggest things for donation would be canned cat food. That's always something. Every cat gets canned food every day. They have dry food available at all times, but canned cat food would be the big one. We can certainly use towels or blankets. Every animal gets a towel and blanket every day as well. Paper towels are always great. And then for the dogs, we certainly use a lot of peanut butter. We do give Kong toys, and that's just to give them something to do as well. So we go through quite a bit of peanut butter.
About like shredded paper?
We don't use shredded paper anymore.
Oh, okay, well that's new to me because you did.
Yeah, we have gone to blankets and towels for them all instead. Much cleaner on the facility and less risk of transmitting.
I can tell just out here it's not as... But y'all will take donations in of blankets and towels.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing too.
All the time.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the services here. I know you can chip animals here. I know that you can adopt animals. If somebody has gotten to a point where they can't take care of an animal anymore, y'all can take them. Give me a little rundown of all the services that y'all can provide here at PAWS.
Some of the new services include us trying to help the public keep their animals. If they're in a situation and they need some dog food, we'd like to be a food bank at that point so that we can offer them food. If they do need medical care, basic medical care, something that we could assist them with, and we'd like to do that as well. We'd like to keep animals in their homes instead of having to take them in and place them into a new environment. So, we certainly offer that as well. County Council just passed the Community Cat Diversion Program this week, and we're really excited to be able to take in these feral cats and spay and neuter them and vaccinate them, which then decreases risk. They will also be dewormed, which also decreases parasites in the environment. So we're really excited about being able to save these feral cats and put them back into the environment where they belong.
If somebody finds a stray or something and just doesn't want, is it okay for them just to bring it in here? Is that
we
part of what
prefer that they make phone calls, call up to the front to make an appointment.
Okay.
We're really trying to.
We're right there by the office
person.
hours, so.
The office hours are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, noon to 6 p.m. and Saturday, noon to 4 p.m. And for right now, we're closed on Wednesdays to the public.
And during those hours, people can come adopt,
Absolutely.
bring animals in for drop-off.
Absolutely.
Bring donations in. Those are the hours that the public can come out.
Absolutely.
Here, right?
Those are the hours we're open to the public.
And if somebody comes, let's say they want to adopt a dog or a cat, why should they come here and do that? What do y'all provide that's an advantage to them and to the animal and everything else?
We provide, a lot of love and attention to these animals. They've come from a rough situation a lot of times, and it's a great way to really provide and give back to the community to take care of these animals. The animal will be tested for either heartworms or leukemia and FIV if it is a cat. It will have all of its appropriate vaccinations according to the age. It will be dewormed. It will be treated for fleas, and it will also be microchipped at that time. And obviously, it will be spayed or neutered.
So that's a big savings. I mean, if somebody got a neighbor gave them a puppy, that would run several $100s to do the things you're talking about right there.
Absolutely.
Tell me about some of your goals here. You're talking about some of the new things here. I know one of the ultimate goals is that we become a shelter that's just a no-kill zone entirely. Tell me about some of your goals for the shelter.
Absolutely. Terminology is a little tricky, and no-kill can be very confusing to some people.
Right.
So, there are certain facilities that are able to only take in highly adoptable animals, and unfortunately we don't have that. We have to take in everything that is brought here, and it's for safety reasons as well. So we do get some truly aggressive animals that it's not safe to rehome. So other than that, we would like to save every adoptable animal, whether that be a feral cat, or grandma's house cat, or any type of dog as well. So that is our goal, is to save everything that is adoptable, to help with behavior issues if they're having problems, to help with medical issues. We work closely with rescues that will allow us to save animals that have been hit by a car that may have broken legs. So that is certainly our goal, to save everything that is adoptable.
And the county's initiative, which started a few years ago to make spaying and neutering affordable through the shelter and other things, has really cut down on the numbers of animals that had to be put down over the years. And now it's much smaller percentage.
Absolutely. Spay neuter is pretty much the only way to truly decrease the number of animals coming into the facility. And I believe they were closer to 12,000 animals per year over the years. And this year we took in a little over 7,000 animals. So that's a tremendous difference to be able to cut down on the population and do so by spaying and neutering your animals.
And y'all regularly offer discounts for that, right, for animals?
Right now, we're not necessarily doing the public's animals,
Okay.
but we do have a contract with the Humane Society.
Right, that's right.
And you can certainly go there and have it done at a very low cost.
And that's been something that the county and PAWS have done for some
For
time now.
years.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
one of the really big things that's helped cutting down on.
Absolutely.
Do you take in animals other than dogs and cats?
We do occasionally take in other animals. We've had some birds, we've had some rabbits, guinea pigs. We had a woman this morning who wanted to drop off a fish tank, a 30-gallon fish tank with some fish in it. So we do get some odds and ends here and there. We have some goats out back, so a little bit of everything.
Goats?
You never know what's going to come in the front door.
So anything that's a domesticated animal, y'all will pretty much take in, is
Pretty
it?
much.
Yeah. You ever had any snakes?
No.
Not so far?
Not since I've been here. Hopefully not at all.
The other thing, it seems to me that when people come down here, and I've been down here a good bit over the years, a lot of people come in, everybody thinks they want a puppy.
Right.
Explain some reasons why that's not always the best decision.
It's a difficult decision. I think people always want they always say, oh, we want our child to grow up with that puppy. A lot of times a puppy is a terrible pet for a child. They're not housebroken either. They will jump, they will chew. So a lot of times it's like having another toddler, and sometimes that can be really overwhelming when you already have a small child in the household. I don't take puppies home at all. I like the older dogs, and that's certainly where I focus. They tend to be easier to housebreak. They tend to be very grateful. And they certainly have a lot of love left to give. So I think adopting the adult dogs is certainly the way to go. Puppies are easy to find homes for, but the adult dogs just have so much love, and they seem to be a little more mellow.
And I know someone had told me some of the older dogs that had to be turned in because their owner died or something,
Right.
or like you said, are trained or gentle or are really
Absolutely.
good pets and have good years left in them.
Already housebroken, that's always a plus. Not destroying things and chewing up the house.
What do you see for the future? What are your plans for the future here? What is on your goals list for PAWS?
My goal list for PAWS, we've come a long way in just 3 months. In the month of December, we were able to save 86% of the animals that were brought into the facility, and that's an amazing turnaround from where things were when I first started. So the goal for the future is to just save lives. The goal, to help people keep their animals in their homes, to spay and neuter, and to help decrease the number of animals that are coming into the shelter on a daily basis. We certainly want to be able to provide loving homes to every animal in Anderson County.
And you've had a lot of support from the county administration and council and all to do these
Absolutely.
things. PAWS has been really on the high on the list for council and administrator for
Absolutely,
for some time.
absolutely. And I think that with their support, there's nothing that we can't do out here. And the people of Anderson have certainly spoken, and their voice has been heard. And animals aren't just on the back burner anymore. They're very important to many, many people in this community, and they certainly have shown that.
And before we started, you were telling me you're doing your part in keeping animals off the street. Tell people how many animals you have at home.
I have 15 dogs of my own.
Can you tell me their names? Do you remember all their names?
I know all their names.
Let's tell me their names.
I have Chaz, Moo, Jacob, Cash, Jack, Gilly, Mona, Ned, Hank, what am I missing? Baby girl, Gert, there's 2 more, Fox, and Juka.
You do have
Right
15
now.
dogs.
I have 15 dogs, mostly pit bulls. I'm a foster failure quite a few times, but I always have a few extra dogs that are looking for homes that are in my house as well.
Okay, pit bulls. I can't let that go without you mentioning something. People hear that many pit bulls. People are like, what do you, they like surrounding your house as guard dogs, or what are we talking about
No, these
here?
are house dogs. Pit bulls are amazing dogs, and they do have a bad reputation, and it's not in how they were raised. All of my dogs have come to me as adults, some of them in bad situations, some of them court cases that I've worked. So, it's not just in how you raise them. The dogs themselves are very loving dogs. They were initially bred and raised to be nanny dogs for children.
Now, do you have children?
I do not.
Okay.
I have horses and dogs.
Horses? How many horses do
I
you
have
have?
2 horses and 2 donkeys. So
That's
I
better
stay-
than 15.
Yeah. So I stay busy with those as well. But pit bulls are wonderful dogs. And the majority of the dogs we have here, we have a lot of pit bull mixes as well. And you say that, it could be lab mix just as easily as it could be a pit bull mix. So they're wonderful dogs. There is a lot of a bad reputation out there, but they are absolutely wonderful dogs.
One of the other things PAWS does is you help counsel people. We're looking for a lazy dog. We're looking for a low-key dog. Y'all can help counsel folks and lead them toward the right kind of animal, correct?
Absolutely, and that's more important than just sending another dog out the door. I want it to be the perfect home and the perfect situation for that dog. So it is very important to me to get to know the dogs that are in our care for that exact reason. If someone comes in and they want one that's great with kids or loves to swim or wants to play ball or frisbee, that way we know a little bit about their personality and we can make that perfect match. That's really what we're looking for.
And can people foster if they're not sure? Can they come in and foster a dog for a little bit to see if it's a good fit?
Absolutely. And if not, then we would rather they bring the animal back and find another one that will be a good fit. That's very important to us.
Right. Well, is there anything else people need to know? What's the best place for people to find out information about PAWS?
You can certainly look on our Facebook page or on the Anderson County page as well. If you go to the Anderson County page, it will link you to Pet Tango, which it has the available animals here, and that's every animal with a photograph that's in the shelter that is available at this time.
And you get a lot of folks who said, "Hey, I was looking at this animal online."
We do, yeah. We get a lot of people. Sometimes I'm really surprised by the animals that they'll pick or come in and ask for. So we do. Social media is very important nowadays, and we get a lot of special requests as well. So if there's a particular breed that you're interested in, you can let us know, and then if we get one of those dogs or cats, we can certainly let you know as well, and try to make that perfect match.
And what should people know before they come get a pet? What do they need to have in their mind? What do they need to know?
They need to know that it is a lifelong responsibility. It is like having a child, and we want these animals in your home being loved as a family member. We don't want them outside. We don't want them on chains. It's very important to us that they are loved, that they are treated like a family member. So, know that it does cost money. The cheap part is getting any animal. That's easy to do, but the upkeep can certainly be expensive. Food, emergency problems, veterinary care, that can certainly add up. So there's great pet insurance available as well. So we do offer 30 days with any animal that's adopted. So I think, just knowing that it's a lifelong commitment for that animal's life is the great place to start.
And tell people why that's worth it.
It's worth it for unconditional love. There's nothing better than coming home to those dogs and to the cats that are just so appreciative just to see you every single time.
And that just reminded me, can you spot people when they come in the door if they're a dog person or a cat person?
I can tell pretty closely who's who. I can tell pretty closely.
And cats are still more of a problem to get adopted, right?
Cats
There's just
much
too many
more
cats out there.
difficult.
There's
Absolutely.
They have more litters and they're out running around.
They do. So that's why the community
The new
cat
feral
program
cat
is so
program.
exciting for us. You can't adopt your way out of that problem. We've done a pretty darn good job, but especially with the feral cats, to me they're the same thing as a raccoon or a possum. They are a truly wild animal, and you will never domesticate them. So it's important.
And the holiday adoption and promotion was very successful?
Absolutely.
Do you know how many animals y'all adopted during that?
We adopted over 200 animals during that time, so that was just fantastic.
And throughout the year, y'all run these kinds of specials for dogs and cats, so people need to stay in touch with your Facebook and online to know. Or they can call out here and say, when's the next
Dogs
special?
are $35. Dogs and puppies are $35 at all times. Cats are still free right now, so we're really just trying to save lives at this point.